Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of our Let's Play series for Football Manager 2016. Alrighty, picking this up right after the last episode, and we had our disappointing 2-1 defeat at Roma. So we've got a few Eredivisie and Dutch Cup games before we have our home game against Roma, so hopefully I pick up 3 wins in there. What I think I'm actually going to do, I'm actually probably going to skip ahead to the Roma game. Just try and get, I've sort of spent a fair bit of time the last couple of episodes talking about a lot of tactical stuff. So I think I'm going to sort of try and get through a few more games and stuff and see what happens. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back probably for the home game against Roma. Obviously if anything super interesting happens in terms of results or transfers or whatever, I'll be back. But yeah, we'll be back probably for the Roma game, so see you all soon. Alright everyone, and we're back. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. You sort of get a bunch of reports come in every month. So the first one is sort of the loan report, and loan reports are quite important for Ajax, and we have sent quite a few players out on loan. First thing I check is appearances, make sure everyone's getting enough games. For example here, Gino Deco, he's actually probably not had enough games so far. He's only had 3 games, which is a little bit disappointing. So he's played a lot of reserve games. We want him getting basically Eredivisie games, which he hasn't been getting. So if that doesn't change in January, I'll probably actually recall him and actually try and get him a loan somewhere else, because he needs to be playing sort of week in, week out. Where are we? Alrighty, who else have we got here? Same with Cerny here. He definitely needs to be playing week in, week out, so he's not getting enough games. So both of them. Everyone else, I guess it's probably decent. Like probably around 7 games is probably fair enough about this stage. Obviously, sort of about half the games you could start. I obviously don't expect some of these young guys to start every single game, but yeah, if they're going to start getting around 7 games, that should be okay. So I actually say, the usual thing I look for as well is some progress here. So if the guy's making progress, it's okay. Shows they're getting enough games. Like Che at Nunnally here, obviously getting was on loan at VVV. Yeah, so getting quite a few games, which is good. So he's actually getting a lot of improvement as well. So I mean, it does the improvement on loan does depend a lot on personality. May as well touch that in a later video. It actually depends a lot on how what their kind of personality is, whether they're ambitious or professional, or if they've got a bit of a, like light-hearted players, for example, generally don't do amazingly well on loan, same as balanced players. You generally want sort of either guys that are like determined or fairly professional or ambitious, things like that, because they sort of got to look after themselves once they're out on loan. Most of our guys are doing fairly well though, which is good, getting a fair few games. Ezra Wallian scored quite a few goals. Lucas Anderson's actually doing very, very well on loan at Rayo as well. 4 goals and 5 assists in 14 games, 14 starts, so he's getting quite a bit of improvement there, which is pleasing to see. Zivkovic is doing okay on loan at Toulouse, and he scored 1 goal in 5 starts. He's had a few sub appearances and stuff, which is probably expected for a 20-year-old, so he's getting some improvement as well, which is good. Alright, so that's all fine. Just a couple of guys I'll keep an eye on there the rest of the season. And training report is also a good one to have a look at. So, a couple of guys here with bad reports here. So, we're going to basically get stuck into them and say, you got to do better. And usually that should fix the problem. Usually they sort of, buck up and... Yeah, all sort of players have, down months and stuff. Don't read too much into it. Generally you don't get the more professional players, doesn't really happen to. But for Eunice and stuff... I suppose he's fairly ambitious, but it's not like an amazing personality type. So they do sort of sometimes have, bad months, and usually you just got to criticize them, and they'll sort of, get back on track, and it won't happen again for quite a while. So Didrik Boer, I'm not worried about this though. With older players, you don't want to really criticize them because there's nothing really they can really control about their physical stats. It just declines as given their age and stuff like that. So. Don't really worry about that. I'm almost actually tempted to actually get rid of him if I can to release on a free. 275,000. I'm actually going to take that. I probably should have done this a little while ago, but what actually prompted me is he's getting Jupiler League games, which I don't want him to get. I basically don't want him playing at all. So I'd rather have our young guys playing in the second division and them getting game time. It's always good to have a look at some guys who are actually doing well. So Mr. John here is doing quite well, which is awesome. So 18 he's had a few starts, had 4 starts, which is good. Had 2 assists as well. So he's going to be a very, very good player, I think, over time. Just going to have a quick look at his training. Actually didn't set up any additional focus to start with. I want to see how he sort of went. So I'm actually going to set up this now. So he's going to be, I think, probably like a box-to-box player, I suspect. He's fairly creative, got some decent flair, good vision, fairly technical. So I guess he's a little bit more of a creative player. I'm not really quite sure he's going to be like a deep-lying playmaker, so I'm thinking like a box-to-box is probably a good role. So what I'm actually going to train him on, I think, is his positioning for a little bit. Get that up to a couple of points, 12 or 13 would be good. His composure's quite good. His technical stuff's good, like first touch, passing technique are good. His physicals are okay. They're probably going to get a little better anyway, given he's only 18, so I'm not too worried about those at the moment. Probably want stamina and maybe strength to come up a little bit for box to box. Yeah, probably positioning is a good one. So I'm going to put him onto positioning. Where are we? Positioning, there we go. And put his playing position to box. So I should get a bit of training there. Which is good. Who else has done well? Manu G's done well, so he's a bit of improvement, which is awesome as well. His tackling's come up a bit, which is good to see. So just jump into here. To his tackling. So he's had a little bit of improvement in his tackling, which is good. Actually interesting that after the last patch, this is actually working now. So this was obviously a bug in the last, for whatever reason, in the last build. These stats here, once you get into these big ones here, these are actually working now, so they weren't in the last. As you guys who've been watching these series would have seen, so it's really, very pleasing to actually see these. You can actually sort of see long-term improvements over here over the course of basically a year. So these are basically year sort of improvements, which is always good to see. And daily Synchroven's done well as well. So he hasn't had a whole lot of starts. So it's good to see he's still improving with, you know, not a massive amount of starts. Would actually like to give him a few more starts if he possibly can. So his off the ball is actually coming up a bit, which is good. So it's 15 already. So if we get up to 16, I'd be very, very impressed. And then get his passing up, I reckon, would probably be the next choice. Because most of his physicals are okay. Like stamina and strength come up a little bit potentially, but yeah. He sort of is like a little bit of a, you know, flair player. He's a little bit lightly built, very technical, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so I'll probably leave him off the ball just for a little bit longer. And then we'll sort of look at some other stuff. That's good. He's getting improvement. That's good. So that is usually the things I sort of look at there, just as a bit of an indication. Always look at those every month. See how everyone's going. Rightio. Few people are unhappy with training. I'm not too worried about that though, because we do have sort of. Oh, he's heavy there though. Oh. I might actually drop it back a little bit. I might drop that back to 10% and put this at just average. Because the more match training it is, the lighter the workload gets. Obviously, because I suppose match training is generally... I sort of think of it as like tactical briefings or, you know, watching videos, that kind of stuff. So that actually reduces the workload. So the more you drop it back, obviously, the higher the workload gets. So we can have it there and high, but that's heavy, right? So we can have it there. I'll leave it there for the moment and see how that goes. Alrighty, so where are we? Just being given a free transfer, which is fine. It's a little bit of money off our wage bill, which is good. Cool. Alrighty, tough challenge against Roma. Yes, we know. Simonson fails intensive language course. Oh dear, can we send him on it again? Doesn't look like it. Oh. He's on loan at Trenton. Anyway, that's fine. Board are very pleased with the overall leadership. Everything's all good there. Rightio, so I didn't show you the last few games, did I? So we had a 1-0 win against Willem 2, a 4-0 against De Graafschap, and a 2-1 against Heracles. So 3 wins on the trot, which is good. They're all fairly comfortable. Didn't play amazingly well against Willem 2, and yeah, the other 2 games were fairly good, even though we conceded against Heracles. So it's good, get a few wins. I think we're sitting, we're third now, yeah. So third, couple of points behind Heerenveen. Which is fine, I'm not too worried about it. We actually got a game in hand. So if we win that, we'll be, 1 point clear. So I'm not too worried about that. Alrighty, game day against Roma. Roma. So we're going to try and do a little bit better than last time, if we possibly can. Yep, it's all fine. I'm going to watch the first 10 minutes of this game very, very closely. And if they do the same thing as what they did last time, in terms of it's fine. In terms of having their right back really attacking, like ultra attacking, I'll look at changing that. I'm not quite sure what to do about Javinho. We tried two strategies last time. Neither of them really worked all that amazingly. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Dykes in this game though, because he's sort of the more defensive player. Obviously, a home game though, so Javinho's on the left. Juan Iturbe is on the right, so he's very, very quick as well, and he's strong on. Actually, he's stronger on the left, so he's actually probably going to funnel him out on the right then. So he's strong on the left. Don't you think his crossing was amazing? Yeah, not too amazing, so that's fine. So Javinho, what is his feet like? So, interesting. Almost tempted to actually funnel him out on the left, actually. So funnel both of these guys out wide. Who's the striker? Is it still Dzeko? Yeah, it is Dzeko. So Dzeko, Strootman, Nangolan, De Rossi, Caceres, Florenzi. Florenzi's playing on right back. That's interesting. Interesting. Alrighty, we'll keep an eye on that. Excuse me. Alrighty, so teams. What are we looking at here? Probably Kenny T's a little bit down on conditioning, so I'll put Van Rijn in for a start. Dykes is going to start, even though he's down on conditioning. Boylerson can come in later on. I'm just thinking Dykes though, because he is more of like a sort of defensively solid player. What about Vagiva actually? He's probably even more defensively solid, isn't he? Better tackling, better positioning. Tell you what, we're actually going to put Nick Vagiva on the left. We're going to give him a run. We're going to take Bollison out, put Dykes in as... take him out as a sub. There we go. So, Veltman's going to start. I think we're going to put Hendricks in. Don't think Heidinger. I don't know. Heidinger's just... it's just not putting performance in lately. Unfortunately, just going to put... I think we're going to go with Hendricks. Fisher, yep, that's fine, I think. Yeah. Bit down in conditioning, our guys. I probably should have looked at this a little bit earlier anyway. Barzaway's going to play defensive mid there. Jensen's going to start there. Nemanja G's still a little bit injured, isn't he? Tell you what, I can give him a start. I shouldn't give Duarte a start. Duarte did very, very well in the last game. Fisher's a bit down on conditioning. Let's put him into there. Where's Eunice? Tempted to play Eunice out. Alright, we're going to give Eunice a go out here. A little bit of an experimental formation. It's a few guys I wouldn't normally start and a few guys out of position, but we're going to give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? Rightio, so we're going to bring Boylerson in as a... actually, no, we're not. We don't need a second one there. So we're going to bring Fisher in as a sub. And Heitinga because we need another defender. Alright, there we go. Alrighty, that's going to be our team. Let's see how it goes, guys. See what happens. What's the worst could happen? We're already seeing last anyway, so... yep, all good. Cool. Alrighty, so what we can do. Juan Iturbe, we're going to find you down the right and Javinho down the left. We're going to tight mark Edin Dzeko. We're going to not close down Javinho and not close down Juan Iturbe. We are going to hard tackle them though. That's pretty much all for now, I think. Yep. Alrighty, challenge where we picked off. There we go. Alrighty guys, I'll be back soon with a result. A 3-1 win over Roma. Very, very pleasing victory. We actually played fairly well. The first half, we're probably a little bit fortunate. Probably fairly even. First half ended 1-1. And from them on the second half, we were definitely the better team. So it's actually really funny. Like I said, I mentioned I watched the first sort of 10 minutes very, very closely. And they did pull their trick of having Caceres and Javinho cause havoc down the left. Or havoc on the same flank. They actually played in the right last time. They switched them over and played in the left. So Caceres was ultra attacking. So I was literally just about to press the button to get Fisher, who was playing out on the left. To get Duarte to playing out on the left to actually man mark Caceres. Oh, no, it was Eunice, wasn't it? Yeah, because there was their left, our right. So get to Eunice to actually man mark Caceres to stop him doing that. I was literally about to push the button, and he came in and provided an assist for the score in the 7th minute. So anyway, yeah, but after that we were definitely much better. We managed to shut them down, and yeah, we actually played our game really well, so which was quite pleasing. So it was good. A 3-1 victory is very, very good. Quite happy with that. I would take that in most days of the week. Not really going to show you the goals because they were actually quite fairly scrappy goals. There weren't really a whole lot to see there. It was actually a really niggly game. Actually had 4 yellow cards for us and had 3 or 4, I think, themselves. So anyway, yeah. So we did fairly well. Actually, that's good. I mean, we obviously it would be good to play Europa Cup football if we potentially could. See if we perhaps give it another crack. So yeah, anyway. At least we didn't get beaten. At least we get 1 win on the board. Cool. We're at 1.7 million. Eunice did play very well. We had 2 assists in that last game. So he's actually a bit of a cracking season. So 2 goals, 2 assists in 7 starts. It's not bad. We did have his little training issue, but that should be fine. He just sort of does provide a different option because obviously he's quite limited in a lot of things, but he's just quick and agile, and sort of just that dribbling and stuff, just that sort of that pace and like kind of stuff that we just don't have really in a lot of our team. Like our wingers and stuff aren't really quick. We don't really have a whole lot of quick players in our team. So yeah, but Javinho's got his handful. Like I know he's again probably a little bit of a limited player in terms, but he's a real handful when he's playing. I actually remembered. I think I managed him. I actually had a Roma save last season. I do quite like Roma and. Loved what Rudy Garcia did with them last season. Actually had a save on 2015 Football Manager 2015, and he was actually a gun. He was Javinho. So yeah. Alrighty, leading development clubs for Eredivisie. Ajax have been responsible for development of 34 top flight clubs, which is quite impressive. And the next closest to us is PSV with 19. So fully to be expected there. Ajax to be one of the most prolific developers of talent. So what have we got now? We've got a couple of games, Eredivisie games, Vitesse and Feyenoord. So a couple of big games there, and then an away game against Shakhtar, home game against Bayern, and that's it. So, bugger. The 2 games that flogged us. So very interesting to see what we can do. That away game against Shakhtar scares me actually, because the one where they beat us 4-0 was at home, wasn't it? Oh, dearie me. And a home game against Bayern. So anyway, we'll do our best. If we can pick up a point here and there, we may even sort of end up pipping Roma potentially if they don't do very well, so we'll see how that goes. Cool. Done. What I think I may do, guys, probably skip through this Vitesse game, and I may actually, where are they sitting in the league? 2nd. So all those damn loan players again from Chelsea. I don't really have a whole lot this time around. I got a few though. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'll skip through this game and see how we go. And I'll probably come back for the Feyenoord game. So the Feyenoord game is always usually a pretty big game for Ajax. So that should be fun. So I'll see you all soon, guys. Okay, so game day with Feyenoord. We had a 1-1 draw with Vitesse, which I wasn't too unhappy about. 0-0 draw, I should say, with Vitesse in the Eredivisie. So we're sitting, what are we sitting at the moment? Sitting 4th with a game in hand. So if we did win, we'd be 1 point behind here in Veen. So not an amazing start to the season, but not too bad. It could be worse. Feyenoord actually having a very good season, so we're actually going to do a little bit of an analysis on them before we get into the game. Look at their team, look at their best players. We've sort of looked at this stuff before, so not a whole lot has changed. We sort of know who their best players are. Probably look at some of their stats and stuff. It's probably going to be a little bit more important. So look at the tactics first. So they do switch around a little bit. So 4-3-1-2 narrow, which is what they usually start with. They do sort of start with the 4-2-3-1 sort of standard formation a few times as well. So we'll keep an eye for what tactics they use and maybe switch around during the game. Goals. Already goals. Nothing too much in there. What about assists? A lot of assists from the right, which is interesting. So I have to keep an eye on that. Have a look at which actual players they're coming from, whether it's a wing back or an attacking midfield right or what. Also someone from the left as well. I have to keep an eye on that. Everything else is fairly well spread out in terms of conceding as well. Nothing really jumps out at me there, so that's okay. Goal types, place shot. So that's sort of hardly any headers here. So that really sort of indicates that they're not really crossing, which is good for us probably. Means that they're obviously trying to come in. So actually probably going to try and funnel them down the sides depending on what formation they play. If they've got, do have attacking midfielders. Because they're playing a narrow formation, it means they're probably only have the wing backs. And they have sort of, pack the midfield, so we'll deal with that accordingly. Rightio, assists. A bunch of crosses though, but it's interesting that like 14 cross assists, but only 4 headers. So it obviously means they're crossing it, but they're not actually heading it into the goal. So they're crossing it, probably getting, I don't know, maybe the knockdown, or maybe they're, they're low crosses along the ground and they're sort of, running onto them kind of thing. So I'll keep an eye on that potentially and see, see how that goes. So that's pretty much all I think we need to look at from there. I'm going to look at some assists in here, where their assists are coming from. So we've got, so there's the first bit indication we need to look at. Marco Motta has 5 assists, and he is their fullback, their right fullback, and so they've got a lot of assists from their right. So I'm going to look at closing him down potentially. He's fairly strong on both feet. We can't funnel him in, I should say. So we're going to have to look at other ways to shut him down potentially, whether it's hard tackling or man marking him or something like that. We'll keep an eye on that. So we've got Dirk Kuyt, obviously a very, very good player. Has 9 goals, 7 assists in 12 games. So he's going to be one of the men that we look out for. Obviously very slow these days. He's 36 years old. He's very, very slow. Obviously got very good technical stuff, very good mental stuff as well. So there's some stuff that we can potentially look at using with him. He's very strong and fairly strong on both feet. He plays as a striker though. He plays as a striker all the time, so which is interesting. So that's a good thing to know. We'll keep an eye out on him. Probably a hard tackling won't be useful for him, given his experience and stuff. Probably tight marking and lots of closing down will, because he's not exactly going to be able to skin us in terms of pace or anything like that, or in terms of real trickery either. So if we can sort of get close to him and close him down, it's going to really reduce what he can do in terms of getting the ball off and stuff. So the quicker we can sort of get up to him and get around him and pressure him, I think that's going to be the better. So that's what we'll probably do with him. Jens Toornstra. So where's he been playing? So he's playing mainly in the centre, but he has played a few games out wide, so I have to keep an eye on that. He's had a lot of assists as well. He's had 4 assists, 4 goals. So he's been a very influential player. Obviously a very, very good player, quite a technical player. He's definitely an attacking player, good sort of passing and vision, teamwork, work rate, all that kind of stuff. So a very, very good player. Apart from that, though, no one really sort of jumps out at me particularly about their goals. So obviously Dirk Kuyt and it's not the Diaby, is it? No, it's not. Different Diaby. So he's obviously a striker, quite quick. Right, his feet. Just a bit weaker on the right, so could potentially funnel him onto the right. Looks like he sort of jumps around a bit though, striker and AML time. So interesting. Right. So we are going to look at our team now. We're going to start with our sort of stock standard formation. We changed it around for the last game. Let's do a quick pick. All right. So what to look at? Kenny probably going to start, I think. He's been playing quite well and he's sort of nearly up to full fitness. Veltman, not Vergever. I don't like Vergever starting as centre back for some reason. It's just a personal preference. We could get Heidinger. I don't know about Heidinger. It's just he's got the experience. Hasn't really been playing all that well though, to be honest. I suppose he had 6.8, 6.9, 6.9. It's not too bad, really, is it? And I suppose there's, like, if Kuyt plays as a striker, he's not really going to be like a pacey striker, is he? So maybe we'll give Heidinger a go. Hopefully his experience shines through. Alrighty. Give Heidinger another chance. If he doesn't sort of do decently well this season, we'll probably end up getting rid of him, I think. Well, he's a good shooter, though. I quite like having him around as a tutor. Alrighty, on the left, I think Dykes is probably going to start. He's probably the better defender, although where's Boylerson? He's been playing fairly well. Dykes has been playing better, though, so we'll give Dykes the start there. Who else have we got? Manu G's down 81% conditioning, so he's not going to start. Barzaware's not going to start there. He's going to start there. Then we're going to give Christoph a go, actually, in the midfield. He's going to play the box-to-box role. There you go. And in terms of our attacking, we've got we can put in Ruben Jensen, who has sort of dropped off in form a little bit. So I'm thinking probably Sink Graven, actually. We can put in Nuri, actually. I haven't actually ever played him in that really centre role for a while. He's obviously got the stats for it. Really good vision, passing, and all that kind of stuff. Alright, we're going to give him a go. We're going to give him a go. It's probably what he should be playing, really, but it's just in terms of there's other people in the squad who hasn't been playing. El Ghazi on the right, 58%. It's just really unfortunate. Lasashone is still injured. 6 to 12 days, not too far away. And Eunice got injured as well, by the way. Don't think I told you guys that. So 12 days and 2 weeks. So he's got to come back soon. Alrighty. We're putting Daly as a good sub. We've got Victor Fish who can play on the left, isn't he? We knew he can play out on the right as well. Should we put El Ghazi starting? He's only just come back from injuries, that's why his match sharpness is down. I don't think he's actually played at all, to be honest, this season. He's had, I know he hasn't started, not recently anyway. Alright, we'll give him a start outright. He's obviously not going to last given his match sharpness. Hopefully he doesn't injure himself again. We've got a couple of guys who can play out there if we need them to, though, so that's okay. Alright, so that's going to be our formation. We are going to get stuck into this game. Cool, so they're playing, alrighty, so they're playing this formation, the 4-2-3-1. So we've got Diaby out left, who's obviously very, very quick. So he's very strong on the left, reasonable on the right, but his crossing isn't amazing. His passing's not amazing either. I think I'm going to funnel both of the guys out wide. Even though he's his strongest on the left, I think I'm going to do that. For Jens Toonstra. We're going to... I don't know about funneling him out to the right though. Yeah, actually I'm going to funnel him out to the right. He's not very quick. His main strength is his passing and his vision and stuff. His crossing is rubbish as well. So funneling both the guys out the right should mean that... Because obviously Dirk Kuyt isn't an amazing header. He's 14 and 12, so he's decent. But he's not an amazing header of the ball necessarily. Lex Immers... Keep an eye on him, probably shut him down quite quickly, I suspect, in terms of closing down. He's quite strong on both feet. Yeah, alright, we're going to funnel both these guys out wide. We're going to tight mark and close down Dirk Kuyt, and tight mark and close down and hard tackle Lex Immers. And keep an eye on these fullbacks as well. Motta looks like he could be a lot attacking. He's sort of, see his little shirt thing is higher up the pitch than Kongalo, which shows he has a higher setting, like a role, probably like an attacking role. So we make sure that they don't sort of double up down the flanks, down that flank on us. So we'll keep an eye on that. Alrighty, so opposite instructions. So we are going to Jens Toonstra. You're going to go down the right. Diaby is going to go down the left. Lex Immers, we're going to hard tackle you and close you down. And Dirk Kuyt, we're going to tight mark and close you down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Alrighty. And cool. Appropriate to ask the team of revenge, right? Might seem to work, that's good. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back with the result soon. Okay guys, so a 0-0 with Feyenoord. Had Kenny T sent off in the 73rd minute. So given that, I'm fairly happy. I think we're probably the better team all over. I think actually I was almost about to sort of get into some attacking changes when he gets sent off. So anyway, that's the way things go. So, yeah, we will sympathise. Unlucky it wasn't our night. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so a couple of 2 0-0s, which is a little bit disappointing. So we're still obviously a little bit behind here in Veen. Too many draws is what we've had. So 7 wins, 5 draws. I haven't only lost 1 game, which is fine. Haven't really scored enough either. Only 8 goal difference. So have a look at that probably over the course of the next few weeks. But I suppose we're doing okay. We're there or thereabout. Not playing amazing football. Yep, all good. Yeah, not playing amazing football, but I suppose we're there or thereabouts. So it could be worse, could be better, but also could be worse. So I think we're probably going to get better as the season goes on. Yeah, that was good. So I don't think 29 minutes in the episode now. I don't think I'm going to run through the Shakhtar game this time around. I think I'm probably actually going to end the episode a little bit early, guys, and we'll just jump into the Shakhtar game first thing next episode. Probably a good time to do that. So I think that's our next game from memory. Yeah, it is, Shakhtar. So I'll do that. So I'll jump into the Shakhtar game next time around, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I hope you're enjoying this series. And as always, it'd be amazing if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video. So I hope you've all had a wonderful day, and I'll see you all soon.